No, I'll do it because you'll need to adjust the camera. There he is, William. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good to see you.
Morning, sir.
Todd, how are you, sir? All right. Thank God. You're too far to the right.
Nah, you're no problem at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, when I come up, I'll just sit here. So I'm just glad. All set? All set?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Are we going out already?
No, yeah, I'm on the. I just got the buckets.
Joshua. John. Hey, when you guys come up front,
Yep.
you got to stay kind of center because we don't have a cameraman moving the camera.
Got it.
So that you stay visible to the people online. Don't wander too far to the right or the left of the podium.
And are we up or
You're down.
down?
We're going to go down.
All right. Picture and sound both getting out.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. You want to have a seat? We'll get started. We're live online. That didn't quiet them down either. Ten Hut. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being here. This is Frisco Connect. My name is John Luce, and I'm humbled to be a part of a team that helps to put on this event every first and third Tuesday of the month. We're hoping and praying that as we go forward from here, that more and more people will get disinterested in being isolated and sitting in front of a screen and come out and meet each other face to face, which is really a healthy way to build new relationships and to build your network, because we do believe that networking is just a key element in landing the opportunity that is best for you in an environment that promotes your growth and where you can be a prime contributor. So meeting people and building relationships is just essential for that. And before I begin, I'd like to thank Stonebriar Community Church for hosting us, for providing the facility, the audio-video technology that allows us to gather together and also to reach others online, since we are live streaming today and going forward on YouTube on the Stonebriar Events channel. And the audio-video ministry at Stonebriar are just fantastic. I don't know if any of you had an opportunity Sunday evening to visit the youth choir concert here at Stonebriar. It was breathtaking. The audio, the visual, the performance of the students, it was phenomenal. But anyway, we've got God has blessed us with some great talent here at Stonebriar, and we thank God for that, and we thank them for their servant attitude. So before we begin, this is a ministry of Stonebriar Community Church. We always open in a word of prayer to our God for thanks. And so if you would join me for just a moment, we're going to do that now. Holy Father, you are omniscient, you are all-powerful, and there are people watching and listening and here in this room who are seeking to have employment. And there is a lot of tension in today's world, but you've got control of it all. So we ask for your blessing on the people who are here and the people watching online. We ask for a gift of wisdom and discernment for them to understand what the next right thing to do is in their journey to becoming employed in the right place that you have appointed for them. So we ask for that guidance and blessing. And we thank you for all the resources you've given us to help them along the way on their journey. And we thank you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. So, as I said, we meet on the first and third Tuesday of the month. And our next meeting will be on May 17th. And I believe May has 5 Tuesdays. So we will not meet on the last Tuesday. We will meet again after this meeting on the 17th. We will meet again on June 7th. And so I just want everybody to be aware of that, because those 5 Tuesday months throw some people off. And with the price of gas, we don't want you coming on up on a Tuesday when we're not meeting. So another ministry we have in addition to Frisco Connect is one called Reach Up, Reach Out. And Reach Up, Reach Out is a supplemental ministry. At Frisco Connect, we talk about the technical aspects, the logistical aspects, the strategic aspects of what needs to be done, what skills need to be sharpened to help you get a beautiful resume out, do a great interview, how to meet and connect with people and build those professional relationships. But at Reach Up, Reach Out, we take a different tact. The pressure, the anxiety, sometimes the depression. There are people out there who are lost, who don't know what to do next, and emotionally and mentally and spiritually, they can get into some dark places. So at Reach Up, Reach Out, what we do is we try to minister to that. Steve Fisher, our minister, one of these days I'll learn how to talk, sorry about that, of Care Ministries here at Stonebriar, officiates, and he does a short devotional that's encouraging to promote hope and encouragement and anchor us in the promises and the beauty of the God we believe in. And then we go around and we share where we are in our journey, what's going on, what our needs are, what we need prayer for, and we pray for each one in the meeting. We do believe in prayer. We don't think it's some incantation, magical, mystical thing. We believe it's a conversation with our Creator and Redeemer who hears our prayer and comforts us and guides us. So we meet at 7 a.m. online via Zoom. Our meetings at Frisco Connect are live now with the stream through YouTube, but we meet via Zoom for Reach Up, Reach Out. And to get all the information about all the activities we do with Frisco Connect and Reach Up, Reach Out, all you have to do is go to stonebriar.org/career-transition. If you put that in, you will go to the page on the Stonebriar website that gives you all the information I'm covering verbally now with links, etc. And it'll give you all the information you need. Frisco Connect is also listed on careerdfw.org, and thanks to Jeff Morris, he's got all the information you need on there as well if you're used to using careerdfw.org. If you're not, please go there because it's a rich resource of things that will help those in transition. Okay, what's next? Okay, I'm going to go back because I'm going to let Foster take care of that. A couple of other things I want you to know. If you're here for the first time, when you checked in to get your name badge, there was a sheet there. If you're a first-time attendee, you can give us your name and email address, and we have a platform on groups.io. It used to be on Yahoo Groups, but that no longer exists. But we're on groups.io, and if you get an invitation, if you signed the page, we'll send you an invitation. You can join the group, and the group emails simply sends out opportunities that people have come across that maybe are not on the job boards or any place else. Maybe they heard about an opportunity, but it wasn't for them. And to pay it forward, they post it on groups.io. There's also announcements about meetings and activities, workshops, those type of things that might be beneficial to you. And so it's a very informative platform to be on, and you can unsubscribe at any time. Also, I want everybody to know we are on LinkedIn. Frisco Connect has a group on LinkedIn. And we are also on Facebook under Frisco Connect. Thanks to our friend and team member, Bill Richardson, there were a couple of websites that said Frisco Connect. He got that all cleaned up, and the one that's on Facebook now is the one that relates to this meeting and this organization here. And we don't have many followers yet, but again, you'll get a lot of good information. As a matter of fact, I got an email from a lady at another church in the DFW area who's looking for a senior, a part-time financial guy or gal for their church membership, and I posted it on LinkedIn and on Facebook, as well as on groups.io, so that we can get it out to as many people as possible. And that's the second time she has emailed to ask for assistance in getting the word out about this position that they're looking for. They also had a senior director of finance a couple of weeks ago that I posted out. So that's the kind of thing, having access to these resources where you can stay informed. And I know our inboxes get full of a lot of stuff. You know, there's always the delete button, but this is important. So you sign up and get it, follow these platforms while you're in the search for employment, and it can be very, very helpful. So I want to make sure and mention that. Now some housekeeping tips. For those of you who are in the building, the restroom over here used to be closed for renovation. It's now open. This one is open. So you just go out these side doors and the restrooms are there. On your phones, we're phone friendly, but we ask that you put your phone on vibrate so that we don't interrupt what's being presented and everybody can get that information. If you do get a call, and we hope it is the call that you've been waiting for, we've got plenty of space outside this room where you can have a semi-private conversation without a lot of peripheral noise, and you can speak freely and nobody will be eavesdropping. We're not Google, okay? All right. I think that's everything. I think that's everything I needed to cover. So I'm going to call up our friend and brother and master recruiter, the job father, Mr. Foster Williams. And by the way, he does have a radio program called The Job Father. It's on Friday nights, right? Friday at 11 a.m.? Friday at 11 a.m. And I'll let him tell you more about that. So thanks for being here. Thanks to Terry Sullivan for being here today. He's going to present some great information for you. And Foster, you can take it from here. And we're not going to have you running up and down the stairs this time, okay? Although, you know, it's good exercise, right?
I can sit right here.
Oh, you're going to sit. Okay.
Thanks, John. As always, thanks. I couldn't do, honestly, I can't do it without that guy. I really can't. Now, you left this little thingamajigger up here. That's for Terry, isn't it? Okay. You see how technical I am? A thingamajigger. Okay, good morning, Frisco Connect. It's good to see you guys. So I'm Foster Williams. I'm a recruiter for all of those people that are watching. Hey, Von Rettmeister and the crew out in California. I am a recruiter. I am best used through the network by, if you see a job at a company that makes sense and you're interested in it, let's talk. So you know what that makes? It makes an opportunity for us to link in. Foster Williams and Terry, are you taking a picture of me? Oh my God. So, guys, I'd love to help you in your job search. I am the founder of Frisco Connect and the whole network, actually, except for South Lake Focus Group. We're all across the United States are part of the Career Search Network. So, you know, if you're in Raleigh-Durham, if you're in New York, there are people you need to talk to that can help you in your job search, that know companies and are glad to connect you with people, places, and things. So I have created a network of the network now, and it's a wonderful thing. So it's all about getting you guys information that you need to get in order to get that job. We know people that do resumes and help you work on your LinkedIn and all that kind of stuff. So please link in with me, guys. Let me know. Pete and I are really, really good about reminding you guys, don't hit the button. Let me know. Foster, I heard you running your big mouth at Frisco Connect. I saw you on some Zoom presentation or whatever it was. Let me know where you saw me. And it just adds a little bit of what I like to call relationship equity to the thing. That's everything that you hear me talk about is relationship, relationship, relationship. Because, guys, a relationship with the Pete Hernandez will get me a lot further than just throwing his name around to people I don't know. And so, Pete, I'm using your name this morning. Oh, absolutely. Okay. Guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to meet some people. I want to introduce you guys to some people that are instrumental in making this network what it is and the value that it carries. So, okay, let me see who I can pick on first. Mike Ray. So, guys, Mike Ray is an executive in the AV industry. No. HVAC. We got so many antonyms and synonyms, man. Anyway, you see this short guy over here next to me? It's my big brother. And so, Mike, I want him to tell you guys a little bit about what he does. He trains folks on Reference. It used to be Reference USA. It is not anymore. It's called Reference Solutions, because if I get this right, Reference USA was bought by a company called Data Axle.
Correct.
And of course they're going to change the name, man. You know, we're not going to use the same old name. So,
I'm going to walk behind you.
come on.
I'll be right here. So we're on camera.
Am I lined up now?
Yeah, John warned us about that.
I look back, man, this guy smells good. Ladies? You know what? If you can't have fun at job search, come on now. Come on, son. Okay, so I want Mike to get into the details. He's going to get into the weeds a little bit about what I just told you guys about Data Axle. And Reference Solutions is the product, and let's talk about it. So I'm going to give this mic to Mike.
Excellent. Thank you.
Will that work?
That'll work.
You're not already got a mic somewhere?
Nope. All right. Thank you, Foster. Thank you. Good morning. How are you this morning? I'm going to tell you about a tool that I used in identifying target companies. And Kip Lipson and I have presented to many job seekers in the DFW area and also outside the DFW area because thanks to the abilities of our online capabilities we have with Zoom. And that's called Reference Solutions. Reference Solutions is available through quite a few libraries, and our emphasis, because we're in Texas, it is the fact that most of the libraries in the state of Texas have this tool available and can be utilized for free if you just get your library card. Now, I have checked in a few other states. I think in some areas in North Carolina and also Minnesota, Reference Solutions is available. And so you want to check with your local library and see if this tool is available to you. The good part is it's free through the library. Get your library card, and then that tool is really, it's a database that you can search to help you identify specific target companies that you're looking for, be it a specific industry, a specific location, or by company demographics. So if you want a small or large company to work for, you can search for those, and it's up to you to make the decisions or come up with some ideas about what specifically you'd like to do and the size of company you'd like to work with. And this tool will assist you in identifying many companies and help you do also help you do research on those companies. It helps you identify key people in the company and then to allow you to develop those relationships within the company. And as it is, and Foster, I used your word, I'm sorry, relationships, that's important, right? And so as it is, you can use this tool to assist you in doing research, and when somebody calls you up and starts asking you questions, you can also ask them questions about the company that they want you to interview for. So it's a great tool. It's absolutely free through the libraries, and if it's not free in your local library, reach out and find another library that you can take advantage of. Again, this is Reference Solutions. And by the way, it's available right now if you go out to Career DFW in the resources section and search for search for Reference Solutions. You'll be able to find, we have our presentation is posted out on Career DFW, as well as there's a video on how to go step by step and get through the tool. It's very easy to use, and we encourage you to take advantage of it. Thank you, Foster.
Mike?
Yes, John.
If I get a library card, do I have to go to the library to use?
That's a great point. Do you have to go to the library to use it? And the answer is no. The nice thing is the libraries have the capability of allowing you to get on 24/7. And so if you're an early riser like I am, I can get up early and go sit down and start doing research on various different companies at any time of day. And that makes it very convenient for you. So you don't have to worry about going at the library hours of 8 to 5 or whatever the hours are that the library's open. You can do it 24/7, and that's a key point. Thank you, John.
Yeah, so once you get the card, you talk to the librarian about how to sign into their website, and you have to create a sign-in and a password, and then you can just access the database through there, right?
That is correct.
Right, okay.
Yep. It's very easy to use, and I would encourage you to take advantage of it. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep. Thank you, Foster.
Thank you, sir. I'll tell you guys, I'm a recruiter. I'll tell you what I like about that product. So, you can find companies like the one that you work at already, that you've just been laid off. Maybe the company's been bought and a number of people were terminated. You know, there's a lot of different reasons that we lose jobs these days, all the dynamics of corporate America. So let's just take let's pick a company. Okay, McAfee is right down the road, right? So if you work for McAfee and you did a certain thing for McAfee, if you see a job at Norton or a different company that does security like that, cybersecurity and things, don't you think that company recruiter might want to talk with you if you've already been working in that arena and they're looking for your skill set, number one. But if you work for a similar company, they're going to get excited. I'm telling you because I'm a recruiter. And guys, here's the deal. If you go and you use reference solutions, you can find companies, every company has a code, like Mike said, that you can find other companies that do the same thing, other cybersecurity companies. It's just, it's a little hint on the inside to use kind of thing. So I get excited about introducing Mike because, you know, guys, the closer we can get to we don't want you to just take a job. I think everybody in this room has had just a job before. It wasn't what we wanted to do. It wasn't where we were going in life, and it didn't last very long. I think James Miller, he's a IBM recruiter like I was way back in the day. He's a lot better than I did. They kept him for like 30 years. So I think James would agree with me. We like that commonality. We hear that word relevance when we're submitting a resume. What do you think we're looking for? What do you think relevance means? It's relevant to what I am doing. If Mike is relevant to the work that I do at my company, I'm probably going to be apt to talk to Mike first over someone else. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. If it doesn't, call me, email me. We can talk more in detail about it. Okay, so Pete, if you wouldn't mind coming up, I want you guys to meet Pete Hernandez. Later on, Judge Bugby's going to tell you guys a little bit about what we call special interest groups. There are two different groups in the network. There's general networking groups like South Lake Focus Group, like RUMC out in Atlanta, Jeff Morris's North Dallas Career Search Network, all of these type of groups where everybody doesn't do the same thing. Frisco Connect, we're right here and run right now, a general networking group. In these general networking groups, we can find a lot of people, meet a lot of people that can give you a lot of different information and things to help you navigate through this network. Then, the second type of group we have is a special interest group. If you are in HR, if you're in IT, if you are a project manager, all over the country, we have specialized groups that focus in on these particular things. So, Pete is going to tell you a little bit our HR group tomorrow. Pete is a leader there. He is a leader here. Actually, Pete volunteers to help you guys in your job search all over this network. Pete knows this network well. And I want you to meet Pete. He's a wonderful human being, and he hadn't fired me as a friend yet. So, Pete Hernandez, guys, I want you to meet him.
Thank you, Foster. Yeah, what he said, thank you. All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Pete Hernandez. I guess I should stand over here. Thank you. And let me tell you about the HR group. It's happening on the first and third Wednesdays of the month. Obviously, we'll be meeting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We are still virtual, and we will be for the time being. So you can find our link at the aforementioned careerdfw.org. I encourage you to go to the calendar section on the agenda view, and it's much easier to navigate that way, and you'll find a link there along the other groups that Foster was just talking about. So tomorrow, we're going to just have a discussion. By the way, if you're looking for an interactive group where you can just share ideas and everything, the HR group is the best one out there. We get into all kinds of discussions about what's going on in the current market with the job search. I mean, think about it. You're in there talking to HR professionals, talent acquisition professionals, or recruiters as they used to be known, and anybody associated. I mean, myself, never had an HR title, but I've been a hiring manager most of my career, which, by the way, I'm retired now, so I don't do this no more. But if you've been a hiring manager, you're lockstep with HR all the time. So if you've ever hired people, join us in our group. And by that, I'm telling you, you do not have to be in HR to join us. In fact, a lot of the people are not. They're there for exactly what I just talked about. It's just to mix and mingle with people in that profession that not only will be your advocate once they land, but can also give you some insight as to how you approach things. Like yesterday, we got into a discussion about how should I follow up after I've had 4 or 5 interviews and all of a sudden I get ghosted. How do you approach that? So we've got several HR people in that group on Monday mornings that I'm part of, and we were all chiming in about the best way to approach that. So those are the kind of tips and everything you'll get from that group if you join us tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock on Zoom. So switching gears here, I've got a good friend who is actually part of our HR group, who is not an HR, he's a project manager, but he's working for a company now called Venture Solutions. And they are in dire need of a project manager, and he's looking for like a mid-level project manager, not a senior, but not a beginner either. So we're talking probably between 5 and 10 years experience. He'd like that person to know Scrum, Agile, and all that, be experienced project manager. You do not have to be certified in any one of those 3 things. He just wants you to have knowledge of it. But they need somebody to start immediately. So if you're available and you're interested in that position, come see me. I'll hook you up with our buddy David Woods, and you can have a conversation with him. He is a senior PM at the company now, and he's kind of leading the charge, which is something I always advocate for. Once you land your position, as David did a few years ago, continue giving back to this network. Come to us, any jobs you guys come across, even in your current state, and it's not a fit for you, pass them on to me, pass them on to Foster. We'll publish them to the rest of the network because you may be able to help somebody else that way too. So, but again, if you're interested in a Venture Solutions position as a PM, I can tell you all the salary details and all that. And by the way, bonus, it's 100% remote. So you don't have to go into an office or anything. So come see me and I'll tell you all about that. I think I've covered everything I need to cover. So Mr. Williams, I will turn it back to you. Thank you all very much for your attention. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you, sir. Guys, the HR people, included in that group are recruiters. Yay. So I think everybody that is in job search, it makes sense if you connect and you network with HR people. I don't know, just saying. Kind of makes sense. So thank you, Pete. So let's see. I see Bob Ernst over there. Remember, guys, excuse me, I'm introducing you guys to people that make this network what it is. I want you guys to understand how powerful this network is. It has been in existence for 20 years now. And there have been hundreds of thousands of people that have landed a job. Now, guess who gets to help those people land a job before they get there? So I would be more than glad to introduce you to many people that I know that work already in the companies, and I try to target the HR folks for obvious reasons. And Bob will do that too. Bob's been with us a number of years here. This is Bob's church. I want you guys to meet Bob Ernst. Bob Ernst is a veteran. He is a Navy veteran. He is a guy that flew UH-60 helicopters. In case you guys know what a UH-60 is. I like the technical stuff. Okay, Bob's going to tell you about a whole nother world, and we're going to hear more about it from some other folks that are my partners in crime, a little bit more in a few minutes, but we're going to start with Bob. Bob?
Appreciate it, Foster.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Foster.
Good to see you.
Good seeing you. Yeah, I'm Bob Ernst. I was a 28-year Navy pilot, as Foster mentioned. Did a career change. Now I'm a certified financial planner at Edward Jones. Best career move I ever made. So we hope you find a job in what you're looking for, but you may be in a dying industry at no fault of your own. It may just be time for a change. Go where the jobs are. And earlier they were just mentioned about jobs at churches, financial jobs. Financial jobs are booming. With baby boomers retiring, they're going to be booming for the next 20, 30 years. So we're hiring for financial advisors. We can train you up in the experience that you need. We're just looking for people that are motivated to run their own business, basically, and get out there and do the work. We promise you, hey, if you come talk to us, if it's a fit, we'll put you into our system. I promise you, you will get a phone interview at the minimum and go through the program. But a great opportunity for you. Mark and Trevor will talk to you about jobs at New York Life too. All good companies. We can help you get your foot in the door if that's something you want to do. So please come reach out to us if you want to do that. Obviously, veterans we're looking for. We love veterans. Anthony Applegate is here. He's looking for salespeople. He's an Army Special Forces guy. So there's plenty of jobs out there. Just network with people, get your foot in the door, and we'll help you any way we can. Connect with me on LinkedIn, too. If you're not interested in a financial advisor role or anything like that, recruiters and other people come to me all the time. We can make connections, as Foster mentioned. Hey, relationships will help you out. We'll get you connected with whoever we can and help you find a job. Bob Ernst with Edward Jones. Thank you.
Thank you, sharp dress, sir. Okay, guys. Anthony, I didn't say it, man. I heard him say you were special forces, so I better stay on your good side. See, guys, we have all sorts of people in this network. You never know. Well, I think I'm going to give you guys a tip. The easiest thing to do, just get out. You heard Pete say, he talked about our HR group tomorrow. So, guys, we are on Zoom. So it doesn't make any difference where you are. You can be in Hawaii. Hey, Christian. And you can join us. And people do that all over the planet, joining up with us on Zoom. And I and others, Pete, other people get information out to you about these meetings and when they meet. And who is going to be our speaker? So today our speaker is going to be Terry Sullivan. And all you guys know Terry Sullivan. In my estimation, Terry is the foremost authority in the United States on LinkedIn. That's my opinion. Okay, so beat me up. I know there's other folks out there that are probably into LinkedIn and stuff, but I know Terry. I don't know you guys. Okay, kidding. We all have a place. So let's see who else I can pick on. My partners in crime look like they're going to be next. Trevor and Mark. You know, you guys, each week you see Trevor, you see Mark, you see Foster, and we're always talking about something dealing with job search and meeting good people and all that sort of thing. We are relationship experts, us three, and that's what we do. It is our ministry. We feel as though God led us to help folks, and we do that expeditiously is my word, I guess my big word for today, Judge. So maybe, Judge, you'll take me to lunch for saying a big word. I don't know. So here is Trevor and Mark. And Trevor's probably going to be first, so I'm going to give the mic to Trevor. I want him to tell you guys all about what's going on.
Well, thank you, Foster. Good morning. How is everybody? Good morning. How is everybody? Good morning. One more time. Good morning. You're live, right? Heart's beating. Got breath in your lungs. Doing good today. All right. So my name's Trevor Houston. Of course, you know Foster and you know Mark. and we're the hosts of the Who You Know Job Networking Show. So if you don't know, now you know. On the table, you got this little flyer here. It's got a ton of information. I'm super excited to announce that we made the top career podcast. Thanks to you guys, thanks to the audience. We appreciate you tuning in all the time because we made Max List 2022 Top Career Podcast. So we're always giving information on, how to really humanize this job search process because it can be very dehumanized and it can feel kind of dark sometimes. It can feel like you're getting constant rejection and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to show you the best tips and tricks in the industry to help you to get your resume out of that black hole and to get it noticed by humans, because that's what it's all about. It's about people. Okay, people hire people. So we've got to do that, and make sure you tune into our show, and we'll give you some information about that. You can scan the QR code. There's tons of information here. We're actually bringing a live event. My goal, I'm planning and working it and putting it all together right now, but my goal is June 8th. Okay, June 8th. We are putting together a live conference at Lincoln Center. Yeah, Lincoln Center in Dallas. And it's going to be awesome. Okay, we're going to bring in some of the best speakers to help you guys, to lift you up. And some of the people that have been on our show, what I classify as world changers, people that are doing big things out there. We're going to bring in companies and all kinds of different things we got going on there. So more information on that. It's not June 8th is my goal. That's my goal, to put it together by that time. So more information, you can scan the QR code. Again, it's there. For now, I would encourage you to come to our online summit because we host that every week. And again, that's more information on how to humanize your job search. I have something that I was featured on Forbes for. It's called the Job Search Trojan Horse. And that's really how to close the deal. Okay, so for those of you that are going through the interview process and you're getting multiple rounds of interviews and you're not closing the deal, that's what you need to do. Is you need to come to this summit and learn the Job Search Trojan Horse. I'm going to show you a strategy in that training. But yeah, we got all kinds of stuff going on. Just scan the QR code, get some more information, and I'm going to hand it over to Mark.
All right. Thanks, sir. So there's another side to what we do. That's our give back, but we are actually financial service professionals with Nylife Securities, New York Life, and we own our own firm, ClearPath Wealth Strategies. So part number one is we are hiring. We actually need a registered service assistant. That's somebody who is licensed for securities. That's what registered means. So if you guys know somebody that is in that business or has a license and might be interested or looking for a position, we are hiring for ClearPath Wealth Strategies, a registered service assistant. So aside from that, Nylife Securities is our broker-dealer. And New York Life, the parent company, is a Fortune 100 company hiring for a massive number of jobs at this point, about 4 to 5 times more positions open right now than they had pre-pandemic going into 2020. So there's over 500 positions like here in Dallas. Judge is going to talk about the jobs report. I include a spreadsheet of all the positions that are hyperlinked, so if you see a position, you can just click on it and it will open up the job description. You can apply right online for that. Now, through the relationship that we have with our broker-dealer, we have developed that relationship with the talent acquisition team at corporate. So if you apply for a position, first off, go look at the positions. If you apply for one online, then let me know which position you've applied for. Connect with me on LinkedIn or come see me after or during the break, and I'll get you my contact information. But let me know that you've applied for that, because I'll get a copy of your resume from you, and we will get that in front of the talent acquisition team. So you have to put yourself into the black hole so we can get you pulled out of the black hole. But once we do that, you will get eyes on your resume, oftentimes resulting in at least a phone screen. And Kelly is the one kind of leading this for us over on the corporate side, and she is more than willing to give people feedback to the extent of what she's able to. So we would love to get you into those positions. IT, project management, accounting and finance, strategy and leadership, HR, call centers and call center technology. I mean, there are a ton of positions right now that they're hiring for. So take a look at that. The other thing is, if you have not explored the field side, the production side as an agent, advisor, financial services professionals, like Bob had said, I mean, first off, Ed Jones is a great company. It's not publicly held. They're not going to lay you off, right, for the bottom line. Great company. So if you're exploring that, we also have some positions that are similar. Would love to entertain a conversation with you on that. We will get you a phone screen for that. So a couple success stories that I have. Deidre Reel and Keith Lotz, both in the Career Transition Network here, part of Frisco Connect, also in the Who You Know. They are now alumni. Both of them came on as agents, like life insurance agents with New York Life, and within a year, they both moved on. Keith is now a corporate vice president for our annuity business, and Deidre Reel is now a compliance officer with the company. So there is a lot of opportunity that they're hiring for. Sometimes you just got to get your foot in the door. If it's the field side that you've never explored, that may be something that you love, right? And if you've been in the search for an extended amount of time, maybe it's time to look at different rocks to turn over. So come see us, come talk to us. Don't worry about the things that you can't control. I always like to say this because there's a lot we can't control, right? And a lot of us try and control it, fret over it, worry about it. Just worry about the things that you can control. And those are primarily your attitude and your activity, right? So if those things are positive, good things are going to happen. You're only one conversation away from that next opportunity, right? One conversation away. The next conversation can be it. So stay active, and God bless you all.
Thanks, Mark. Mark is my main man, 50 grand. I heard that on TV. I thought that was cool. So, guys, I'm going to say this again. The easiest thing to get a job, guys, is just to get out. Give the universe, God, an opportunity to help you. You never know who you're going to meet. And when we're in job search, we got a little time. I know it's a job. You're finding a job, right, Meg Rose? Yeah. So, good grief, there's so many things that we need to know. So I do want you guys to meet Meg Rose Caterio. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Meg Rose is probably the most avid supporter of this network that it is. She helps you guys find things. You will meet with her. Yes, her name is Meg Rose, M-E-G, capital O-R-R-O-S-E. That's her right there. See that lady right there? She is like a biochemical engineer. She's real smart, y'all. And if you get out, you'll meet people like Meg Rose. Guys that are listening to us in other states, please join us on Zoom. I want to have you guys go to careerdfw.org. There's a guy named Jeff Morris that created that. He's got information on groups all around Dallas-Fort Worth for those of you that are wanting or considering moving to Dallas-Fort Worth. I will help you connect. Please connect with me. There's another website, careerusa.org. You know what? You can find out about stuff all over the United States on careerusa.org. If you want to move to Dallas, go check out careerdfw.org. Okay, so I want you guys to meet Meg Rose, and her last name is not easy to say. I am kind of, a little bit of my family is Hispanic, so I kind of say it right. But anyway, this is Meg Rose, and I'll let her say her last name. She does it better than me. And you're going to tell us about a number of things probably, huh?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to let you. I'm scared not to.
Thank you, Foster. By the way, you smell good, too. Hello, everybody. My name is Meg Rose Quiterio, or Quiterio if you have a Hispanic accent. But I am an alumni of the Who You Know Job Networking International. We're not just national, we're international. Yeah. It happened. So if you're international, welcome. If you're national, welcome again. But my name is Meg Rose Quiterio, also known as Mez online. So if you go look me up on LinkedIn, it is M-E-Z, and I think it's Mez because you're forced to put in a last name, but Mez online and on LinkedIn. So I wanted to mention a couple of groups that really helped me out. The first one is the IT IT project management groups. One is on Tuesday at 9 a.m. The other one is going on right now. So that is today. And then tomorrow you have the PM group. The IT group is run by Mike Bowen, and Alvin does the other one. So go to careerdfw.org, and it's on the calendar, I believe, the links to the...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's on the calendar. Look at that.
Zoom, you guys, in other,
Yep.
other states.
So that's the only thing I had to write down and actually think about, but the rest is up to you. I like to say, if you're not laughing, you're not learning. So I'm also the hype lady. You'll see me in the comments with the Who You Know Job Networking Show and the Job Father Show, which is Fridays at 11, and we have the Who You Know Networking Show Wednesdays at 3. Making sure I get the names and dates right. So welcome again. Please connect with me and just have fun as much as you can. I'm going to hand it over back to Foster.
Thanks, Meg. Okay, guys. See, you never know what pops up in this network. We started 20 years ago. There was 1, 2 groups, maybe. There was the Fort Worth Career Search Network, and there was South Lake Focus Group, and then all of a sudden there was an explosion. For some of you guys that are science-driven like me, remember the Cambrian explosion a long time ago when life started on the earth? And for some of you nerds like me, you remember some of that stuff. But we had our own Cambrian explosion, and it was 20 years ago. Actually, it was back in 1996 was the first group. So we've been around more than 20 years, so I'm lying. Anyway, it shows you why I used to have gray hair. Now it's falling out. It turned white. Now it's turning loose, as we say, James Miller. Okay. So, guys, thank you, Meg Rose, for telling us about that. And there are going to be other groups that she's going to tell you about. She's going to spotlight other groups, too. And so I am looking for Mark. Look there. So, guys, here in Dallas, we have a very, very unique service. It is called the Pit Crew. Did he get? Oh, look, the information up. Thank you, John. Thank you, whoever is our AV person back there. So, guys, you're going to learn about the PIT Crew. It stands for Practice Interview Team or Practice Interview Training. And Mark is the everything when it comes to the PIT Crew. He's going to tell you all about it. Yeah, he's the head cook and bottle washer. That's right. That's me. And you know what? If you have an interview coming up, you might want to practice a little bit. You want to go over some things because it'll trip your mind. You think about some things that you don't normally wouldn't even thought about. And that practice makes kind of close to perfect. We're not perfect until we're 6 foot under, I guess, huh? So, hey, we don't want to be 6 foot under. So here is Mark.
Thanks, Foster.
You're welcome.
So I have a little story to tell about practicing. I went to a networking event, face-to-face networking event, and I met an attorney from the UK named Sal Katadia. There we go, Sal Katadia. And so I was the only person there who was any interest to him. There were a lot of recruiters there, but they didn't have jobs for him. And so he found out about the PIT Crew at that time, and he was very keen to practice because he'd been out of work for about 18 months, and he'd been a finalist several times, but he just hadn't been able to cross the line. So about a week later, we had a practice interview for him, and on Tuesday, the following Tuesday, he had a job interview with Silicon Valley Bank, and then 2 weeks later, he had a job offer, and he landed. So I think what he learned through his one session with the PIT Crew is the importance of having good, relevant stories and also examples to back up those stories. So there's a certain cadence and a way of answering questions. Of course, we also often talk about the STAR format or other structured formats. And so that's what we helped him with, and it made a big difference. It made a big difference in his confidence that he was able to tell his story well. And so that's what the PIT Crew is all about. We want to get you to the point where you know how an interview flows, you're prepared to answer questions directly to what the hiring manager is looking for, how to analyze the job description so you are well prepared. No question is too much of a surprise to you. And so to do that, we give you a chance to actually practice a mock interview in as realistic a fashion as possible. And so in this way, through actually hands-on engagement, you will learn much, much more than just reading or studying, right? You don't know how you're going to respond in an interview situation unless you're in an interview situation. So this is the way it works. You provide a job description, so you pick out what kind of job you want to practice for. I provide 3 interviewers. Those interviewers have all been hiring managers as part of their professional responsibility, and also all been through job transition. As a matter of fact, most of them are currently in job transitions, but some of the other ones like me are retired. I was in job transition 3 times in the last 10 years of my career, so I have a lot of experience with that, and so do all of the other interviewers. So we're a very sympathetic and empathetic group, and we're going to give you a very customized interview experience based on that job description and also where you are in the process. So the interview will be different if it's a first-round interview versus a 3rd or 4th or 5th round interview, or if you're interviewing with a C-level, we'll give you a different interview experience. And to reach this point where you have a lot of confidence in your ability to tell your story, you may want to practice more than once, and we don't mind at all. And we encourage that. As a matter of fact, it may take 3, 4, 5 interviews practice interviews before you start to feel like there's no situation that's going to throw you for a curveball. And so come and do that. So when you're ready to practice, send in your job description and your resume to dallaspitcrew@gmail.com. We're currently doing them on Zoom, on video, but shortly, like within the next few weeks, I expect to transition back to our face-to-face meetings on Wednesday afternoons. And when we do that, we will also still have one day, Tuesday, in the evening where we do video sessions. So for those of you who are not in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you can have a video-based practice interview on a Tuesday evening. So that'd be 5 p.m. Central Time or 6:15 p.m. Central Time. So keep that in mind. And so you too, if you're not in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, can reach out to the pit crew by email and send in your resume and job description, and we'll set you up for a practice interview. So that's the 2-way. Oh, and by the way, all of this is free, right? No cost at all. The pit crew also has a 1-way practice interview experience. So this is where some companies will ask you to do a video interview, but it's not really a video interview because there's nobody at the other end. It's just a computer-run program that records the answers to the questions they provide. So it's a very different interview experience. And so I give you a chance to practice it. And I make it real easy. You get the questions in advance. There's only 4 of them. And then when you interact with the tool, you've got 3 minutes to answer each question, and that's recorded. And then afterwards, you get a copy of that recording. So the last person who did this did it once and didn't like it, thought they could do better, and so they practiced again a couple of days later, did much better, and it made a lot of difference in their interview, because when they got called into the interview, the hiring manager commented on how well they had done in that video interview, that 1-way video interview. So that's another opportunity for you. And again, send your request to dallaspitcrew@gmail.com, and I'll set you up with that 1-way interview tool. I also coach, so this is another service available to you. I coach, but just on one question, and that question is, why did you leave your last job? So if that's going to cause you some angst or some difficulty, if you can't answer that question with brevity and confidence, then let's talk. And we'll storyboard the answer to that question, why did you leave your last position, and also any follow-up questions that may be generated from that. So I'll get you well prepared to answer that question. And the thing about that question is, if you are able to answer with brevity and confidence, there won't be any follow-up questions, okay? But sometimes interviewers are curious, especially HR professionals. It's their job to understand why people come and go from their jobs, and so they may ask you several questions around why you left. So we'll get you prepared. You'll have a story, and you don't have to worry about that anymore. So reach out to me at dallaspitcrew@gmail.com. We'll set up a call, or we'll do a Zoom, and we can discuss your situation. And then finally, I've had a couple of panelists those are the interviewers. We call them panelists. There's 3 of them here today that have landed. So I'm always looking for new volunteers to help others along their job transition. So if you've been a hiring manager, you've got the only prerequisite necessary to be a member of the PIC crew, and reach out to me and I'll get you involved. It doesn't matter what industry you've been in. Talent acquisition and HR is good as well. And you don't have to make a big time commitment. And I'll explain all that if you give me a call or send me an email. But I'd love to get you on the team, and you'll get a lot out of it. You'll learn a lot about interviewing, and it'll build your confidence as well. And then you also get to help others. So how great is that? So thanks, Foster.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks a lot. You guys are absolutely wonderful and have helped a lot of people along the way. You guys been in existence, what, 15 years has it been? Yeah. See, some of this stuff is working. Okay, I see you, John. Okay, guys, here comes Judge Bugby. And Judge is going to tell us about the job report. It's something you guys need to know about. So it's another thing you can key into to find out what's going on out there, meet people, all of that sort of thing. So here comes the Judge. I guess you have to be a baby boomer to remember that one.
That's right.
There's Judge.
Hey, thank you very much,
Thanks
Foster.
for what you do, buddy.
Okay, what I want to do is inform you about the job report, let you know what that is. The job report is a digital interactive newsletter that we send out the Monday prior to Frisco Connect. So obviously this latest edition went out yesterday, and you can get it very simply. It'll be the easiest thing you do all day. Just send an email to thejobreportfc@gmail.com. Once you get that, I will add you to the subscription list and send out the one that went out yesterday if you have not received it. If at any point you decide you do not want to get this anymore, there's an unsubscribe button and it'll take you completely off the list. So when you send me that email to thejobreportfc@gmail.com, in the subject line, just put job report, because when I get that, I know exactly what you want, and I'll get it out to you this afternoon. So as you've heard different speakers speak this morning, there's several groups in the area, and there's several meeting times and locations and Zoom, and that's all included in the job report. So it's a one-stop reference tool for you, so that way you know about all of the different meetings that are going on. Frisco Connect is made up of almost every industry known. But if you want to go to a industry-specific group, we have those. So if you want to go to IT Focus, or if you want to go to a special interest group for project management, business analysis, supply chain, and logistics, there's a special meeting for that. There's a human resources meeting that's designed just for human resources and other people, because Pete says everybody really should be part of the human resources. And then the healthcare. We also include in the job report all of the educational events that are going on, all of the learning opportunities that will help you secure your next job. Then we also include all of the current job fairs. And as you're seeing the world open back up, we're starting to see a lot more career fairs popping up. And I noticed there's one from Credit Union of Texas. I believe it's 2 days of next week. And they got like 30 jobs they're trying to fill, and they're offering jobs on site. $1,000 sign-on bonus, and if you're vaccinated, they're going to offer you another $500. So there's just crazy things going on. Later in June, they're going to have an FAA career fair for air traffic controllers. I'm sorry, I blanked for a second. They said the median job there is $138,000. So that's another thing that's going to be opened up that's going to be a great value for everybody. Then we offer all of our partners that partner with us open and active jobs that corporations are trying to fill. So Babbage and Associates, we have their listing of all their jobs that they're trying to fill. We have Carly Weiner at Camden Kelly, who is an IT search professional, and I've got the link for all of her open and active jobs. And then New York Life, what Mark and Trevor were referring to, that is also attached to this week's job report. So what we try to do is we try to give you 2 weeks worth of information, because on that third Tuesday, we'll be back in this room, and we're not trying to overburden you with a lot of information, just enough to keep you busy for the next 2 weeks. So again, subscribe to the job report. You'll have it this afternoon if you don't have it, and I hope you find it real helpful for finding your next career. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Okay, we got a number of people across the country that are listening. There's some information I want you guys to know, and then I'm going to introduce you guys to Terry Sullivan, my big brother. Okay, if you are in the Atlanta area, and I know there's some people that are listening to us that are in the Atlanta area, we have a network in Atlanta that is just as big as it is here probably. It is called the RUMC, Roswell United Methodist Church, puts on a group similar to what we do here. And it covers Metro Atlanta. Catherine Simons is a leader there that you guys need to connect with. Catherine starting with a K, and her last name is Simons. Catherine Simons. If you are now of course, if you link in with me, you need this information again, I'll be glad to provide it for you. If you're in Washington, D.C., in the Fairfax, Virginia, all of Virginia and all that stuff around there where it's political, there is a group called CNM, Career Network Ministries. It's run by Bob Korzeniewski. Now let's see if I can do that. You got the Bob part, right? Meg Rose, you good on Bob? Korzeniewski. Let me say that again. Bob, Korzeniewski. Okay. If you are in New York, guys, you need to connect with Marty Latman, Latman. Marty is the first name. M-A-R-T-Y. If you are in the Chicago area, it's going to be two guys. It's going to be Fred Smith, who is the leader of the Pathways Career Network up there. And then you've got my buddy up there. Oh, my goodness, now I'm forgetting his name. No, Paul Cameron, guys. He's been a speaker right here way back when we were a little bit more COVID-ed. Is that a word, Mike? Okay, we'll put that in the thesaurus. Okay, guys, this network is all over the United States. Phoenix, we even got a group in LA. How about that? All right. So, guys, connect with Foster Williams on LinkedIn, and I will be glad to provide all this information for good people for you to connect with. Okay, now here comes Terry Sullivan. No, wait a minute, guys. No, it's not. It's time for a break. We're going to take a little 5-minute, 7-minute coffee break. And then my brother Terry Sullivan's going to come up here and tell us all about LinkedIn. You know what? He's going to tell you some updated things about LinkedIn that you didn't know. As we know, I guess it was a couple of years ago, maybe even 3, Microsoft bought LinkedIn. Is that correct, Terry? And there's some functionality that we have that's really pretty cool. So Terry knows all of that stuff. And hey, Terry put together my LinkedIn profile. He helped me. So guys, we're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere. You guys are in other states. Don't go anywhere if you don't have to. And if you do, go get a job. If the phone rings, it's a job, go get a job. But make sure and tell Foster about it. I want to know. Inquiring mind. Foster wants to know. Okay. 5-minute break. Ready, set, go.
I'm taking it you didn't have to serve jury duty.
Jury duty's interesting, but it's a pain in the rear end.
Okay. That doesn't mean I'm going to sing. That means we're going to restart the meeting again. I'm glad to see you guys networking. That's what we do around here. We network. Somebody moved my podium over there, so I am going to introduce you guys to Terry Sullivan. Where did Terry go? Where is Terry? There's Terry right there. Guys, for a number of years, Terry Sullivan has been our man, 50 grand. That's right. Remember, don't forget. And Terry travels around the United States. He supports corporations, teaching them what they should do with LinkedIn, things that they didn't know anything about, give them a business advantage in a lot of cases. But what we're excited about is that Terry helps job seekers.
Do you have my presentation?
He helps us figure out what our platforms need to look like and how we need to be found, what is searchable, all sorts of things like that. And our, are you guys used to this word yet in the network? Brand, B-R-A-N-D. What is your brand? When people think about cybersecurity, do they think about Gary Stillman? Do they think about Mr. Applegate? Where'd he go? Okay, he probably had to go to work. Do they think about James Miller? Those kind of things. So guys, my friend Terry Sullivan is mic'd up and ready to go. Say something, Terry, let's see.
Hello.
Yeah, that's him. Terry is that good-looking guy. He will be wandering around here telling us all about LinkedIn. I'm going to shut up for now. So take it away, Terry.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's great to be here. Thank you so very much. Just got back from Long Beach, California, stepped off the plane, jumped in an Uber, and there was a little robbery right in front of me, so I'm so glad to be back here. So glad to be back here. It was scary, but I guess it's pretty normal there. Yes, indeed. So it's great to see you guys today. Thank you so much. My name is Terry Sullivan. I give over 100 presentations a year. During COVID, I had, within a span of about a week, I lost a lot of business. I work with companies and I train their sales and marketing teams how to use social selling to find, connect, and develop relationships with your key contacts and prospects. And within a span of about 3 days, I lost thousands of dollars of business. So I had nothing better to do except to go to Kroger and get groceries every couple of weeks, right? Put on my mask. And so I gave, in 2020, I gave 163 presentations, 3 to 5 a week, and just tried to help as many people as I could. Interestingly enough, with social selling and my networking, what have you, the fourth quarter of 2020 was my best year ever. And I've had my company for 12 years. So that's what I'm going to talk about today is LinkedIn branding, and then I'm also going to talk about social selling. And if you guys don't know your social selling index, if you're taking notes, I hope you are, make sure you write this down. Your social selling index has 4 pillars, right? And that's what I'm going to talk about today. But you want to get your social selling index in the mid to high 70s. And if you're taking notes, write this URL down. It's linkedin.com/sales/SSI. And you can look it up on your digital phone and what have you. But you want to get that SSI score up. It means that you're doing the right things, positioning your brand properly, you're finding and connecting with the right kind of people. You're building your brand by doing, posting and what have you. And then you're building relationships. And I'm going to detail all of that today. So these are some of the clients that I worked with in 2020. I was so honored. I got to work with Nike up in Portland. I helped Emma Minto, who is in charge of women's apparel, for Nike, get a job. She's now running a company out of Denver called Crocs, which she's now the GM for that company. And I worked with 7 senior executives at Nike. So, I mean, it was a great year, but it was kind of scary in March. But these are some of my clients that I work with. I've worked with Nigel Thurlow, who was the Chief Agile Officer for Toyota, Larry Levine, the founder of Chili's Restaurants, and his leadership team. So I have a lot of fun helping companies all over the country, learn how to create a brand, and then more importantly, learn how to find, connect, and develop relationships with your key contacts and prospects. And that's called social selling, which is strategically different than social media. These are the 4 things that I'm going to talk about. SEO, I'm going to show you where to put some keywords in your brand. If you don't have the right words in your brand, you're not going to be found, right? That's really, really important. Then I'm going to talk about your branding. And your brand, if you're taking notes, is who you are, what you do, and it's how you can help, right? It's not just a title. I am the founder of BuzzPro, big deal. who are you and how can you help me? That's what your brand is all about. And then we're going to talk about how to become an active LinkedIn user. Trevor and Mark, these guys are great at creating awareness on LinkedIn. Check out their videos and podcasts. It's amazing who you are. And so then I'm also going to talk about how to network and create engagement and how to use LinkedIn in just 15 to 30 minutes a day. You don't want to use LinkedIn as a crutch and be on there for hours. I just have under 22,000 first level connects, and I don't use it more than 15 minutes a day myself. And I'm going to show you some tricks on how to use some applications that are free, that are kind of make the process real easy and straightforward. But why social media? We've all heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and right in the middle of that triangles need to be social. And as a result, all these third-party applications are popping up. Truth Social popped up officially a couple weeks ago. TikTok is rocking and rolling, and then Reels and and Shorts. The Facebook and YouTube versions of TikTok, they're trying to compete. It's just things are just very, very dynamic. But the thing is, what you want to know is that things are changing, and they're going to continue to change. But before I talk much further about brand, let me just tell you about a couple things that you need to do to protect your brand. Okay, so I'm going to give you a lot of suggestions here. But there's two things in particular you want to do to your privacy settings. Number one, you want to turn off viewers of this profile also viewed. If you don't shut this feature off, there will be 10 people out in the right-hand column of your main branding page who are just like you. I train 4 recruitment agencies, Babbage & Associates, John Casey & Associates, these 57th Street partners. And I train their recruiters how to use Recruiter and Recruiter Lite. And they love this feature. If it's on, they'll click in and out of your profile within seconds. So if you don't know how to do this, just write this down, speakwithterry.com, right? Speakwithterry.com. And you can set up a 15-minute call with you. It's not going to cost you anything, but just set up a call with me and I'll answer any questions you have. I can also take a look at your brand and give you some free pointers as well. The other thing you want to do is make sure you shut off job alerts or job changes or changes that you're making to your profile. These are the two main things that you want to shut off. I got in trouble with my lovely wife several years ago. She was a social media marketing manager for a big mortgage company. And this feature was turned on. I changed the title of her position with Fairway Mortgage. And as a result, all 2,800 of her first level connects got a message that was algorithmically generated, wanted to know if they should congratulate her for her new job. She loved her job and she wasn't planning on leaving, and so it caused her a lot of embarrassment because I had made that title change and the algorithm kicked in. And so all of her peers said, "Why are you leaving?" Her boss called her in her office, "Why are you leaving?" And my wife didn't talk to me for 3 days, right? So you want to make sure that you shut this feature off before you make any of the changes that I'm going to talk to you about today. The other thing is you want to set yourself some goals in terms of how many times people are opening up your profile. If you have a great profile but no one's opening it, finding it and opening it and taking a look, what good is it? So you want to make sure that you're getting 3 to 5 profile views per day, minimum, especially if you're a job seeker. It's super, super important. If you have the free version of LinkedIn, you can see the last 5 or 6 or so people and when they looked at your profile with the free version. If you're paying for any of the premium versions, you get this a little bit more detailed version, and it's really kind of cool. You get your weekly number. You can highlight that weekly, circle there, that number, and you can get your weekly total, divide by 7. You can get your daily run rate. If you look at this graph in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see that I've had over 1,500 people look at my profile in the last 90 days. So that's pretty good too. I worked with a CEO 3 weeks ago up here in Plano, and I helped him with his brand. I looked at this statistic, how many people have looked at his profile in the last 90 days. And he had one person, just one person who had looked at his profile in the last 90 days, and that one person was me. Okay, so he wasn't getting very much visibility. So make sure you don't have that kind of issue going forward. All right, so what's a brand? A brand is, if you're taking notes, this is probably the best thing you can write down in terms of your LinkedIn profile brand. A brand is who you are, it's what you do, and it's how you can help. What it's not is a title. Again, owner of BuzzPro, who cares? What can I do for you? That's kind of how it works. So I'm going to give you some examples here of some branding headlines that I created for my clients and kind of get you a feel for that. But here is mine, and you can see very quickly, you can see I use only a couple of words for my actual title. I have all those things that I want to be known for, digital marketing, LinkedIn training, and that kind of thing. So that's super, super important. And, you know, you just want to make sure that you also have a banner image at the very top that has a story, right? So if you guys have a great podcast, or, you know, you've got, you know, you like working with people, you're an accountant, but you love giving presentations, whatever it is, try to have a banner image that tells a story. And if you haven't signed up for canva.com, canva.com, it's free. You can create a banner image in a couple of minutes or less. I mean, it's just really, really a great application. But you can see my banner image. It's me presenting. That's kind of what I do. I enjoy it very, very much. And then I also included my top 3 branding terms at the very top, because some people are visual and some people like to read, you know, words. So that's kind of how that worked. The other thing is let me see if I can go back here. Under the contact info section, this is super important. The #1 searchable term on the internet is your first and last name, right? So you want to make sure that when you go back and you look for Terry Sullivan on Google, Bing, or Yahoo, that you find me, my profile, right? So make sure that you go into the contact info and change your vanity URL to your first and last name, right? So when you first create a LinkedIn profile, it creates a vanity URL. It has your first and last name with dashes in between and periods and numbers at the very end. That destroys the ability for people to find you for your #1 searchable term, again, on Google, Bing, Yahoo, LinkedIn, what have you, which is your first and last name. So go in here, click on that hourglass there, or the little pencil with an icon, and change your vanity URL to your first and last name. Again, if you have a problem doing that, just go to speakwithterry.com. I'll walk you through it. It's super, super simple. But you can see my vanity URL before and after. So at the very top, that's my LinkedIn URL, but, you know, with a bunch of characters at the end. You can't find me, you know, with a Google search. I changed it to my first and last name. It wasn't available. There's about 3,600 Terry Sullivans in my database. But I put MBA at the end. So what did that do for me? So if you go into, when I went into Google, and I did a search Terry Sullivan LinkedIn, you can see that in my Google, you know, of course, it's got kind of skewed towards the things that I'm searching for. But you can see I showed up on the first page at the very top. So change your vanity URL to your first and last name so you can be found, right? That's kind of with keyword searches. And here's canva.com. It's super, super cool. It's very easy to use. You can hit banner images that are already made and edit them or create your own. That's what I highly recommend that you do. This is Lisa Woodard, and she was unemployed for about 14 months, and then I helped her get a job. She became the chief marketing officer for Transamerica out in Long Beach, or in Los Angeles. But you can see her branding headline here, chief marketing officer. So, you know, so you can see the key things that she wanted to be known for. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll show you a couple others here. This is Nigel Thurlow. If any of you guys are in operations, buy his book. He just lives right down the road here. He was the chief, like I said, the chief agile officer for Toyota. Great client of mine. I loved working for him. He's from England. And he called me up one day. He said, "Hey, Terry, I just got invited to speak as a keynote presenter at South by Southwest in Austin. Do you know anything about that?" I said, "Dude, you just won the Olympics. Go present." So at any rate, he wrote a book called The Flow System, and he wrote the process with 2 other PhDs for Toyota. And as you know, the Toyota way is a very, very famous manufacturing process, and they're changing it to include service companies as well. So The Flow System, Nigel Thurlow. This is Charles Humbert. I worked with him. He owns Uplifting TV, #1 family content provider on and off the internet, and I worked with Charlie and his executive team. But you can see here his brand, you know, Uplifting TV. It's just a you know, very minimalist kind of thing. And I also included the same branding components in his LinkedIn company page. So it was consistent whether they went from his profile to his company page. And then, of course, this is Tony Bashara. Tony was one of my first clients back in 2012, or 10 actually. And so if any of you guys want an interview, I'd be happy to introduce you to Tony. Just make sure that you take the lead on sending him your resume and keep calling him until you have a conversation with him. So I told you guys that your brand needs to be the same from offline to online. So what you tell people about who you are, what you do, and how you can help, you want to make sure that your brand's consistent from platform to platform to platform. So if you're using Twitter, if you have a handle for your business, you're doing some consulting work, if you are using a Facebook business page, you just want to make sure that you have the same look and feel no matter what platform I land on. So this is Emma Minto, and just kind of, let me just walk through Emma. She was in charge of women's apparel for Nike, and I just met her through one of the free presentations that I gave during 2020, during COVID, and it was kind of interesting. She said, Terry, I said, I need a picture of you presenting to your people. She had hundreds of people in her downline. She said, Terry, I don't have one. And I said, what? You're in charge of Nike and you don't have any pictures of you in front of your team? Okay, so at any rate, I said, don't you live by Mount Hood? She lives up in Portland. She said, yes, I can see it out my business window here. And so I said, great, take a picture of of Mount Hood with your iPhone and let's use that as your banner image. And so that's what we did, and there it is. And so now she has a story. So try to use a banner image that has a story. That's super, super important. So I will tell you, in terms of the summary section, it's kind of hard to see it there, but just a couple things I want to tell you about your summary. You know, you guys, it's different than a resume. You know, a resume you want to write in third person, but your summary section, there's two things I want to tell you. Number one, write your summary section in first person. You want to pretend as if you're talking in front of that person, and you're talking to Trevor. Trevor goes, hey, what do you do? How do you help people, right? And that's what you want to do, is write your summary section in first person, and then also real nice short paragraphs. If you have long paragraphs in your summary section, people don't read the internet, they scan it, and they scan it in a big way. So if you have long paragraphs, nobody will read it, right? So have nice short paragraphs, write your summary section in first person. Now, when you're looking for work, it's different than if you're running a company like mine, but you can see here in the middle section, you want to have 3 to 5 quantified success bullet points, right? So use numbers. Don't just say, I started a new division of a company. Tell me how many people it involved in. Did you save the company money, or did you make the company any revenues, right? So 3 to 5 quantified success bullet points with strong leading action verbs, right? So strong leading action verbs. And then from a branding perspective, you want to make sure that you put those bullet points in order of importance to your brand, from most important to least important. Why is that? Because people scan the internet, they scan your profile. In many cases, they're not going to read it, but so if you might get lucky and they'll read your first bullet point, put that right up front, etc. And then lastly, most of you guys in this room probably don't have a CTA, a call to action anywhere on LinkedIn. You never sell on LinkedIn. If you sell on LinkedIn, people will run from you, right? They'll unfollow you, your content. But you definitely want to have a call to action. And the purpose of your call to action is threefold. Number one, you want to get them to learn more about you, right? So try to get them to read more about you. Number two, you want to get them to connect with you, right? That'd be great. And then thirdly, the big win is if you get them to pick up the phone and call you, right? That's where you do all your selling. Whether you're selling products and services or you are selling your personal brand as a job seeker, you do all your selling over the phone. Okay, so that's kind of how that works. If you have in your experience section, right, you definitely want to include just a little bit of a write-up about the company. Again, I like to include a few bullet points, quantified, put the most important bullet point first. And that's pretty much it for the experience section. The skills section, here's the 3 things I want to tell you about the skills section. Number one, use terms that are strategic to your brand, right? My CFOs that I work with, they always say, Terry, I want to put Microsoft Excel in my brand, in my skills section. So they manage over 100 people. In many cases, this one person did, and he said, I need to put I was like, name one person you know who's not using Microsoft Excel, right? So words like leadership, whew, you got me excited, right? Terry's good, he's a good leader. Well, what kind of leader? I'm a process improvement and optimization leader if I'm a COO, right? So use terms in this section that are strategic to your brand, okay? Number 2, max it out with 50 terms. If you cannot get to 50 terms, just reach out to me. I've worked with every kind of professional you can imagine, and I've got a set of 50 keywords for every kind of position I've ever helped somebody with, right? So I can send you those. And then lastly, position the top 3 things you want to be known for to the very top, the top 3, okay? Because it's a collapsed section, and 47 out of the 50 terms are not seen, right? So if you look at my top term, It's brand development is what my top term is, and I've got about 4,800 or so, people have checked on that skill. And so it helps me be found before someone else who has brand development, who has 3 endorsements for that skill. So max it out with 50 terms, and make sure you pin your top 3 terms to the top so you can get some more endorsements. And then the real important thing right here is you want to have at least 2 to 3 recommendations. Right? I would highly recommend you try to get, every time you work with a client, if you own a business or you are a consultant, or maybe you're doing some, some volunteer work while you're in job search, get some recommendations, because it increases the verisimilitude or the believability, or what they call in the world of social media, social proof of what your brand is all about. When other people say that you've helped them, it does really wonders for your brand validity, okay? So get, I would say 2 to 3 recommendations, at least try, and once you get them, even after you get your job, right? Try to continue, if you help people, try to get a new recommendation once a quarter. If you read a book called What Color is My Parachute, they publish it every 2 years. I've watched the stats in there in terms of the job longevity. In other words, when someone gets a job, how long do they stay in that position? And right now, the last stat I saw was about 18 months, right? So people are constant, whether it's the companies moving people around or the people just wanting to find a better opportunity, there's a lot of transition, and people aren't staying in positions very long. So try to get some recommendations, so no matter where you are in your career, people will see that you've done some great things for others. So, in terms of how you use LinkedIn, are there any questions on brand? I'll just take a break there. Any questions? You guys are tracking pretty well here. Trevor, I can't believe you guys are sticking around to listen. These guys are the LinkedIn experts over here. I mean, I'm like, I thought they were going to leave at halftime. Okay, so the other thing is, make sure, you have to come up with a process that's super simple to implement. And let me just tell you, I would suggest a little acronym here. Just get rid of the red. Go from left to right. If you see a circle with a number, a red number in it, go there, right? Just go there. And let me just show you how that, just go from, and don't spend more than 15 to 30 minutes on LinkedIn. I would suggest that get in the habit during your 15 to 30 minutes, like, comment, or share on 3 to 5 posts per day. It won't take you long. Right? Just if you see something from Trevor's podcast, like it and comment on it, right? And every time, I think pretty much every time you respond, right? When someone says, every time, he's amazing. So Mark's the same way. So make sure that you like, comment, and share in 3 to 5 posts per day. And you want to curate. I would highly recommend that you curate 1 article per week, right? You don't have to, that just means you're going to bring in an article from off of LinkedIn. Why is that important, right? So, you're probably, like, I'm a marketing guy, right? So I'm not connected with a lot of marketing guys, and the ones that I do, they don't write very good content. And if they do write good content, it's driving them away, the readers away from my brand, right? So what you want to do is make sure that you bring in an article from off of LinkedIn. And I'm going to give you the second secret weapon here. The first one was Canva. It's free, right? And I'm going to give you another one in just a second here, but you want to bring in once a week 1 article from off of LinkedIn that ties into your area of expertise, right? And I would highly recommend that you use, you tag a few people, right? If I always try to tag my clients, right, with articles that I've written or that I brought in, but make sure that you use 3 to 5 hashtags. And the one hashtag that you have to use, especially if you're in the technology arena, is hashtag ONO. Hashtag ONO. Babbage and Associates, there's about 5 recruiters over there. What they do is they go, hashtag, they go accountant, right? And then they use a Boolean modifier. Hashtag ONO, it stands for open to new opportunities. And they say, here's 8 job seekers in the Dallas-Fort Worth market, and that's the first 8 people they try to get in touch with. Hashtag ONO. Okay. So here's secret weapon number 2, Feedly.com. It's free, right? Get yourself a free Feedly account, because the reason people don't curate articles is because they do a Google search for a topic, they're in there for an hour, 30 minutes, they can't find anything, they just give up and never do it again. I can find an article from one of my influencers within 30 seconds, right? And there's several here. You can see those are the major feeds or topics that I post articles on. I can find content very, very, very quickly. You don't have to, there's so much great stuff out there. You know, you got Trevor's podcasts are always talking about stuff that you might want to repurpose and what have you. But you can, you know, whatever you're into, you can find topics using Feedly and find articles, and you just copy the URL, you bring it into your news feed, and you're off to the races. The other thing I want to tell you is make sure you follow companies you want to do business with. You know, whether you're looking for clients or you're looking for a job, follow that company and learn all about that company, because their posts will show up in your news feed, right? I worked with a client who wanted to get on with Borden Foods. Guys, remember, Gary, remember Borden Foods, right? The LC, the cow. Well, they had a new CEO, got a new CEO, and my client wanted to work there, and I said, well, you need to talk to the CEO. He said, oh, I'll never be able to do that. I said, I like when people say never. It's a good challenge. So we researched the company. We created a very short, very succinct connection request, and he connected. And then the follow-up, thank you for connecting note, talked about the new CEO strategy. And the CEO reached out to him and said, call me. So he didn't get the job, but he got to talk to the CEO of Borden Foods. It works, right? It works. All right, so let me just tell you what social selling is. And I know I'm going quickly here, and talked about, you know, well, if you have any questions, I'll hang around afterwards, or go to speakwithterry.com. I'll be glad to, you know, set up a call with me. It's not going to cost you anything. But social selling is all, and this is super important, it's different, you know, it's so funny, people say, well, Terry, I don't do social media. I said, well, neither do I, right? Social selling is strategically different than social media. Social media is kind of like throwing a party. If you throw a party, it takes a lot of work, you got to invite the right people, and you have to, thank you, invite the right people, you have to, you know, maybe even have a great band, and the whole idea is that you want to have people talking about your event so that it creates brand awareness and they can go to the next one. Whereas social selling is all about finding, connecting, and developing relationships with your key contacts and prospects so you can ultimately take your online discussion offline, right? So social selling is more like going deep sea fishing. You know, you want to have the right boat, the right gear, the right tackle, fishing in the right waters, and the ultimate goal is to land that fish. Again, you never sell on LinkedIn. If you sell on LinkedIn, people will unfollow you and disconnect with you, etc. So this is Emma Minto. She got a job with Crocs. She's now running that as GM. She had 4 offers at the same time. Using this strategy, it works, it works, it works, right? It's my 25, 15, and 10 social selling strategy. And again, no more than 15 to 30 minutes a day on LinkedIn, right? And so what you want to do is, step 1 here, you want to send out 5 connection requests a day, right? During that 15 minutes. Send out 5 connection requests a day. You can change the number. Gary, you can make it 10 if you want, or more, or maybe it's 1 a week. But the point is that on a regular basis, you want to send out 5 connection requests per day, or 25 a week. Of those 5 that you send out, you want to get a sizable number of those people actually connecting with you. So 3 out of the 5, right? You want to get them to connect. Not everyone's going to connect with you for whatever reason. But then here's the biggie. You want to get on the phone. You want to have at least 2 conversations a day with recruiters, hiring managers, and influencers. 2 conversations a day. Super, super important, or more. Tony Bashara, I'm on his national syndicated radio program, digital radio program, a couple times a month, and he always says, Terry, you know, people should be making 50 or more calls a day, right? So I'm just, you know, if I'd be happy with just 2 calls a day, right? Just 2 a day will be 10 a week. If you do that, if you implement my 25, 15, and 10 social selling strategy in a month's time, you will have had 60 new contacts on LinkedIn, and you will have had 45 or so conversations, right, or 40, I should say, 40 sales conversations, dramatically increasing the probability of you landing a job. So I can't tell you how many times I've talked to job seekers, and the first question I'll ask them, I'll say, when was the last time you talked to a recruiter? And they'll say, oh, it's been a couple weeks or a couple days or whatever. I'm like, wow. I remember once I worked with a controller, and he was pretty dire. He had been unemployed for over a year. And it was so fascinating because we were at my beloved Starbucks, back in the old Starbucks days, And I said, when was the last time you talked to a recruiter? He said, it's been a few months. I said, a few months? Are you looking for a job? Are you kidding me? I said, so what I did is I implemented my 25, 15, and 10 social selling strategy before we even talked about his brand. I made him send out a week's worth of connection requests to targeted prospects using Boolean searches, and I'll walk you through how to do that. And so he sent out 25 connection requests, and then I said, great. I said, once they connect with you, send them a thank you note and attach your resume. So within a span of about an hour or so, 8 of those 25 had connected with them, and I said, great, send them all a thank you note and attach your resume. Great, so he did that. I'm still at Starbucks. And I said, great, so he sent out the 8 and attached his resume. I said, great, now I want you to call every one of them, and I'm going to sit right here and listen to you. So needless to say, he said, I can't do that. I can't do Terry. I can't just go. So I stood on the other side of Starbucks, sipped on my iced tea. You know, I used to drink iced teas all the time before COVID. And so he made one call, got a voicemail, made another call, got a voicemail, third call, fourth call. I looked over at him and he's doing this. He's doing this, and he is talking to a red-hot lead, red-hot recruiter, and the next morning he had a face-to-face interview with that recruiter. He hadn't talked to a recruiter in months, right? So implement this 25, 15, and 10 social selling strategy. Get in the habit of using LinkedIn just 15 to 30 minutes a day. Super, super important. So here's what it looks like. So that's your goal, 25, 15, or 10. So what do you do to actually, what's the 4-step process for, connecting with people? Well, first you have to find them. Right? And if you're not using Sales Navigator, and I don't recommend that you use Sales Navigator for what you're doing, I use it for my business, but everything I'm showing you today, for the most part, is with the free version of LinkedIn. But you want to use Boolean searches, Boolean searches. And if you don't know what that is, you want to learn more about it, just go to speakwithterry.com, tell me you want me to, or just send me a message, and I'll send you my summary, which details how this whole search thing works. But basically, you want to reduce or refine your search results, right? If you just say, I'm going to look for a recruiter, that's not going to work. You're going to get too many searches. But so the first thing you want to do is you want to use Boolean, they're called modifiers, and or not. The first 3 have to be all capitalized. If you use and or not lowercase, the search engine thinks that you're looking for that term instead of telling the search engine to do something, right? So capital A, capital N, capital D, etc. The second thing is open and close quotation marks. If you're looking for a director of marketing, VP of finance, or whatever, put those multiple word terms in quotation marks. That phrase into a unique term. And so it increases the end results of your search. And then lastly, if you're looking, I'm a salesperson, I'm looking for a VP or a director of finance, then I can put that whole term in brackets, which again helps me refine my search. If you pay for Sales Navigator, there's some features built into the app that are really cool that does all this. But with the free version of LinkedIn, here you go. There you go. That's how you do it. So this is John Casey. You guys want to talk to an amazing recruiter. John is one of the top recruiters in the nation. He owns a great recruitment firm. And he's my personal mentor for over 10 years. He's just a Harvard graduate. But anyways, you can see you just click on the connect button. And again, I can send you these templates if you'd like to have them. But you want to use, here's the trick, is that you want to use templates to reduce the amount of time you're on LinkedIn, right? Because the whole idea is that you want to be networking and having conversations with people, right? Not just playing on LinkedIn all day. So what you do is you use templates that are pre-written. For many years, I used Microsoft Word, right? And I would create all my templates in Word. And now I'm going to give you my third and final secret weapon. Write it down. It's free. It's called textexpander.com. Textexpander.com. Actually, I think this one costs like $50 a year. The other 2 are free. This one, textexpander.com, changed my life, right? Because I prospect, I reach out to people, I give free information, I answer questions. And now I just use a key sequence to, instead of me having to go to Microsoft Word, let me copy this template, let me paste it over here. Like recommendation request, if I help somebody, I go RR1, pop, 4 paragraphs right there, how to do it and everything else. So step 2 is send a personalized connection request. So yes, you use a template, for the part that you repeat every time. I'm in the process of expanding my professional network. It would be great if we could connect on LinkedIn. But at the very beginning, put one sentence in there about them, a short sentence. Hey, I see you're the CEO of a great division of Toyota. Or, hey, I see that you know Terry Sullivan. Or, hey, I see you work at XYZ company. I'd love to learn more. Paste, right? So always personalize your connection requests, and always, use templates, but personalize them. Once they connect with you, step 2, actually I think it's step 3, so we only have one more after this. So step 3 is always send a thank you note and attach your resume, right? My recruiters go crazy because, they can't find a phone number in someone's profile. They want to talk to people. And I can't tell you how many candidates, I sit my recruiters, so I'm training them, and they'll just bypass on a prospect because they can't find a phone number, right? So make sure you have a phone number in your contact section, and I would highly recommend you put it at the end of your about section. But then also make it easy on them, like Tony. Don't make Tony have to send you 4 emails to get your resume. I'll introduce you to Tony if you want an interview. Say, Terry, thanks for the introduction. Tony, I just sent you a connection request. Looking forward to talking with you. When he connects with you, you send him a thank you note with your resume attached, and you get off of LinkedIn, right? Get off of LinkedIn and get on that phone and start making calls. You got to. All right, so that's step 3. And then step 4, just like that example I gave you about the controller that had an interview right then and there, who hadn't talked to a recruiter in months, you want to pick up the phone and call them. Now you're like, Terry, oh my gosh. It's not a cold call, it's a warm call at this point, right? You've researched them using Boolean modifiers, Boolean searches. You've been very strategic about who you're connecting with. Recruiters, my recruiters love it when people call them. If Foster, do you like to talk to people? No. See, ask Foster, he's the #1 recruiter I know, and he loves having conversations with people, right? So don't be afraid to call a recruiter. They love it when you call. And they might be kind of hard to get through to, but most of them, especially all my Babbage recruiters, love to have conversations with people. But you pick up the phone. #1, always use their name. Hey, Foster. Don't just say, hi, this is Terry. Hey, Foster, how are you? And then tell them how you know them. Hey, Foster, we recently connected on LinkedIn, and I just thought I'd personally reach out to introduce myself. And as I mentioned in my connection request, I'm in the process of looking for an EVP of marketing position in the DFW area, and I would appreciate 2 things you want to remember: any advice or contacts you may be able to share. Don't ask a recruiter if they have a job opening. If they have a job opening, if they don't have a job opening, they're done with you. All they're going to be thinking about is how to get you off the phone. But tell them how you know them, use their name, tell them how you know them. Reiterate for the 3rd time what you're looking for, because remember those other 2 messages, you said, I'm looking for this type of position in this area. And then, after you tell them what you're looking for and what area, notice the uppercase word down there, stop talking, right? I can't tell you how many times I've sat in a recruiter's office and that job seeker is nervous, and so they're just like, bop, 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 bop. Just stop talking and get them, force them to start talking to you. They'll start asking you questions. So that's pretty much it. There's Text Expander. This app changed my world because I just use 1 or 2 key sequence for every message, and I have 47 messages I use all the time. So textexpander.com, and then there's a lot of other free apps. If you go to my buzzpro.com website and you click on my resources tab, everything I use for my business, everything that I train my clients on is on that page. And then let me see if I can just show you that. Okay, this is my SSI summary page. If you don't know your SSI score, you better get with it, man. It's updated daily. And of course, LinkedIn created this so they can sell more application, users of their wonderful apps, But your social selling index is a measurement of 4 pillars, right? It's kind of hard to see on the right there, but #1, it's your brand, right? And you can see I'm doing pretty good. The top 3, you want to get above 15 on the top 3. And the last one, you want to max out at 25. But the top one is your brand. And the second one is, are you finding and connecting and developing trust and rapport with people? That's the second one on the right there, the second pillar. The third one is your posting strategy. Are you educating your audience? I don't think of LinkedIn as being a social media site. I think of it as being a learning site, right? So where people go to learn things. So educate your audiences by sharing content that you've read or curated. And then lastly, you want to build relationships. And that just means if you get on LinkedIn every day for 15 to 30 minutes, you're going to max out your build relationships pillar, score. So why 75 to 80%? If you're in the 90s, 80s and 90s, you're selling too much on LinkedIn in my view, right? You just want to make sure you're using it every day, you're doing the things that I talked about in terms of your brand, getting rid of the red, those type of things, engaging with your key contacts and prospects, and get your score in the mid to high 70s. So that's it. Anyone want to share their SSI score? Anyone look it up yet? Yep? No? Okay. Let me know what your SSI score is when you call me, if you call me. I'd love to know. So that's pretty much it. I know I talked very quickly here. If you connect with me, if you haven't connected with me or what have you, just connect with me and I'll send you a link where you can download my LinkedIn tips document, which covers everything I've covered today in detail, right? So we talked about how to, basically how to search optimize your profile, max out your skills section with 50 terms, use terms that are strategic to your brand, pin your top 3 terms to the top, right? That's the whole idea there. Create a brand that tells people who you are, what you do, and how you can help. Stay away from title only. I'm VP of whatever, who cares, right? And then become an active LinkedIn user, get rid of the red, right? Just use LinkedIn 15 to 30 minutes a day, start engaging with your audiences. And then lastly, implement my if you're a job seeker, implement my 25, 15, and 10 social selling strategy, right? That's pretty much it. Please, again, connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll send you a copy of my LinkedIn tips document, and then you can go ahead and scan the QR code. If you want to just set up a quick 15-minute meeting, I help people every day, Monday through Friday, between 4 and 5. That's how I network. When people have questions about LinkedIn or social selling, or you have an issue with your brand or whatever, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be glad to give you some free advice. So that's pretty much it. Do you guys have any questions? Yes, sir. You've got a question. Foster's got a question. Okay, I'll repeat your question so they can hear it online, Foster.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, man, I can hear
something. All right, Foster. Where's your brand? We should put your brand up here.
No.
Right?
I want to check my social selling index score.
Okay.
We'll do that before we leave.
I'll help you as soon as this ends. LinkedIn.com/sales/SSI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Terry, what are some of the top things now in today's time, post-COVID, hopefully we're post-COVID, we're getting there, that are getting people that LinkedIn doesn't like and they kick you off and they put you in LinkedIn jail? What's happening now?
Well, during COVID, the last month or so, they've limited the number of connection requests that you can send out to 200, right, within a week. And so what happens?
Within a week. Okay.
Yeah, so what happens? So you send out 200, and then 10 reject or they connect, then you get 10 more. So it's like, so what LinkedIn did is there was a lawsuit a couple years ago where LinkedIn sued a company that was basically scrubbing addresses and contacts and what have you from various people that they were working for and blitzing out kind of marketing stuff. And LinkedIn lost the battle, right? And so what they've done to combat that recently is to reduce the number of connection requests you can send to 200 at any given time. But in terms of getting in jail, if you put your phone number and your branding headline at the top, you're in trouble.
You're out of there.
Right? Yeah, and the way they catch is if you ever reach out to customer support and they see that number up there, they'll go, take that number out or we're going to shut your account down. And then if you have multiple accounts, so like, maybe 1 out of 20 of my clients will have 2 profiles and I'll have to merge them, right? Because if you have 2 profiles and I've got one for this brand and one for, it's not worth it. It causes brand confusion and you get kicked off of LinkedIn for both of those particular profiles. Yeah. So don't have dual accounts. Don't try to connect with 2 people. LinkedIn is not an outbound marketing, it really is a networking learning site, and so treat it right and you won't get in trouble. So, yes, sir.
Terry, thanks for your presentation.
Yeah, went pretty quick, right? You survived, right?
Yeah. Question on the professional brand section of your SSI.
Yeah.
Once you get it optimized, is there any maintenance that you need to do on a regular basis to keep your algorithm strong for that section?
Yeah, you saw my lowest score was on posting, right? And that's kind of strategic for me because I truly believe that less is more with LinkedIn. I have debates all the time with Fanny, my good friend Fanny, and others about how many times you should post on LinkedIn. And some people say once a day, twice a day. Well, I think it's once or twice a week, right? And so my pillar for posting is actually the lowest because of that strategy. So I'm willing to accept that. But in terms of what to keep up with, definitely once a quarter, once a month, whenever you help someone, get a recommendation, right? If you have, so many of my clients have a recommendation, their two most recent recommendations are older than 10 years. It dates you, right? So get recommendations. Whenever I work with someone or I help someone, I'm like, hey, would you please recommend me? Let other people know how I helped you, right? So then that way I get some visibility and that helps with my SSI score as well. Bring in good content. Use Feedly. It's free. And find some influencers, just find some people that are going to give you some great content that you can grab very, very quickly and share with your audience. And always put your spin on it, what it means to you as a professional. So posting would be great. And then as you can tell by my story earlier, how I got in trouble with my wife, Sydney, a few years ago, I'm constantly editing, my profile. So don't just put your profile out there and say it's good and not read it for a year. Go in there as, let's face it, especially if you're in job transition, things are going to change for you, right? Like when I was at Verizon as a VP of marketing, I did a whole bunch of different, I was their technology expert on Verizon Fios, and I marketed their Verizon Fios product, right? And so I don't do that now. So, you just have to make sure you're constantly, it's an evergreen document and it's constantly evolving. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Well, specifically, I had heard that in your headline areas, that if you go in and you tweak one word or change one character, that helps you with the algorithm. I didn't know whether it was a bunch of
have heard that, yeah. Once I'm a marketing guy, and once I figure out what my brand is, you can't get me to change it. I will utilize my posting strategy and make sure that you use hashtag ONO in your post that you curate and write. Make sure that you use, LinkedIn tips or whatever those hashtags are that are searchable, that are important to your brand. Make sure you always use those and tag people as well. I think that'll help. I don't like to play too many games with my profile once it's created. I use content development to try to drive traffic to my LinkedIn profile and traffic to my website, and that seems to keep my score. You can see I was running a little hot, 81. It probably needs to be down a little bit. But so yeah, just be an active LinkedIn user and always think about what do I need to do different or what do I need to change. And 2 years ago, no one knew what social selling index was, and I knew what it was, but I just didn't use it that much. But now it's, when I was in Long Beach, I had a couple hundred people out in the audience, and once I started talking about the SSI score at the very beginning, the whole presentation went south because they were all like, my score's 93, what's yours, So you gotta be kind of cognizant of what do you need to do to update your profile, and what do you need to do to give back to your digital community. And that's how you get, you want to be a thought leader. So whether you're looking for clients or you're looking for a job, so you want to stay front of mind with your digital audience. And so that way, when it's time for them to purchase or time for them to hire, you're front of mind and they reach out to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, sure.
Okay. Just real quickly, can we back up? Well, first, let me say thank you. I did one of your 15-minute calls, and it was just very, very helpful.
And you survived? I'm really proud of you.
I am here today, living proof that it's well worth the time.
Well, thanks for meeting with me. Thank you.
I appreciate it. But if we can back up to Feedly for just a second.
So you want to go back to the slide?
Well, no, just in the question.
Sure.
You don't have to go back to the slide.
Okay.
When I find the article that I want to post,
Yep.
and I copy the URL,
Yep.
I couldn't figure out after our conversation I just go into my profile and post it like a comment?
Yeah. Here's, you have something to write with?
Uh-huh.
Get ready, here we go. Okay, so step one is you go into Feedly and find an article that you like, right? You find it, right? Step two is you open that article and read it. Make sure you read it. It sounds kind of silly, but a lot of people don't read the articles they're curating, right? And then step 3 is you copy that URL that's at the top in the Google search bar up there. Copy that URL, step 3. Go back into LinkedIn, right? You go back into LinkedIn, go to your news feed and click on Start a Post, and you paste that URL. Count to 3, and the article will show up. 1, 2, 3, right? And then super important, delete the URL. It's not needed because it has no branding value. And you click on the picture or anywhere in that article, for the most part, you're going to get to that article. So delete the URL, okay? Step 4 is try to tag using the @ sign 1 to 5 people. I always find someone that I think is going to appreciate the content that I'm posting. And by the way, you can go to Terry Sullivan. You'll see I wrote an article last week about SSI. So it's everything you ever wanted to know about the social selling index, because I got so many questions. I wrote a blog article about it. And then so once you delete the URL, then make a couple comments, tag a couple people, and then use, I would say 3 to 5 hashtags, no more than 5. I would say at least 3. And every social media platform has its own kind of way of doing things. So like my wife has a business downtown Grapevine called Roses on the Vine, and I do social for her. And so I have several hashtag sets that are all around 35 hashtags. If you use 35 hashtags with a LinkedIn post, you're going to have so many unfollows you can't imagine, right? So just 3 to 5 hashtags that help people find your content and help people understand that you're looking for a job. That's why it's so important that you use that hashtag ONO, open to new opportunities, at the very end. You're welcome.
Terry, we've got a couple questions online real quick.
Oh, sweet, thanks. Hello, online. Thanks for joining us today. Sorry about moving around too much. Go ahead.
All right, so the questions are, what will kill your profile, and what do you think about fun profile pictures?
Oh, fun profile pictures. Okay. Yes. I had a chairman of the board that I worked with who insisted on having a profile photo of him kissing a dolphin. I didn't think that did a very good job of helping him with his brand. All my attorneys, they love to have pictures of bookshelves in the background, right? I think it's kind of a distraction. If you're a vet, go ahead and have a picture of your favorite animal in there, but if you're not a vet, or work for a vet, you probably don't want to do that. My advice in terms of the photo that you should use is always wear the clothing you would wear on a job interview, right? And I will tell you, it's getting a little casual. I helped both of my kids get great tech jobs down in Austin. I visited them this weekend. And, it's amazing how casual the tech scene is, right? So a suit may not be appropriate depending on the job that you're applying for. But wear the clothing that you would wear on a job interview. And you don't need a professional photo. It helps if you can afford it. If not, if you look at my photo, I just had my wife take a picture of me. And guess what? I use Canva. And Canva has this amazing feature where you can delete everything in the background and it just shows your head, your face. That's what I did, and it turned out pretty good. Does that answer the question? Or was there another part to that question?
That's it.
That's it? Okay, thanks. Any other questions? Make sure you guys online connect with me on LinkedIn.com. I'll send you a link where you can download my LinkedIn tips document. Make sure you go to speakwithterry.com if you have any questions. Would love to talk to you. Anything else? Yes, sir, Mike. Yeah, yes, sir.
I sat through a LinkedIn presentation from a recruiter standpoint.
Yeah.
And the recruiter said to put the green ONO on the picture.
Yeah.
Because
what's your take on that? Should we use it? It's called a photo frame.
I've heard it both ways. I personally don't like it, but she said what they do when they go in looking for people. There's a list of things that they can see, and one of the things they can see is the number of people that are open to new opportunities when they're searching for a specific type of person.
Yeah.
So to me, it makes sense to put it there because of the fact that it highlights that you're looking for work, and it emphasizes you're in that field that they're looking for, and emphasizes that you're open to new opportunities rather than being one of the others in the other columns.
Right. I will tell you, I wasn't a big fan of the photo frame. I think it kind of made my candidates look desperate, but here's what happened. Like even last Thursday, John Casey, he is looking for a technology expert to be in charge. It's a VP job, or it's a director job with probably going to be promotable to VP for a amazing telecom wireless company in Grapevine, Texas, right? And I won't tell you, it's called Patriot Mobile. Have you heard of them? Patriot Mobile. At any rate, so he said, Terry, you know a lot of techies, and I'm connected with a whole bunch of tech friends. They're all tech friends. Can you help me find some candidates? And so I immediately went to my 20 or so candidates that I knew personally that were, you know, digital marketing pros. And so I thought, well, I wonder who else I could send to them. And I literally did a search for digital marketing, first level connect, Dallas-Fort Worth. And I went through like 150 or so people, you know, several pages. And anyone who had that open to work window frame, I introduced them to my recruiter. So I don't know, I'm kind of torn, you know, like when I work with a CEO, I don't know. I'd rather be a little bit more nonchalant and use the hashtag O&O and content and that kind of thing. But if you really want to get some visibility, boy, use it. So I think it's a personal decision. I will tell you, when it first came out, I surveyed 52 recruiters, 52. I said, do you like the green open to work photo frame? And 51 of them said they liked it because it helped them do their job. And one of them said that it made his candidates look desperate. So they all liked it. So I guess it'd be a good idea to use it, although I don't know, I'm just not really fond of it for some reason because I think it cuts off your photo with your smile and that kind of thing. But great question, Mike. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Terry, just to add to the conversation,
please.
I was one of those people that you did the search on and sent John to.
Are you one of them? Well, there you go.
So thank you very much. And I was one of those people that had the O&O circle on it.
Oh my gosh.
But
so I introduced you to John Casey last week.
Yes,
I'll be darned. It's small world. Now, have you talked to him yet?
I have tried twice. I have not.
Okay, do not give up on John because he is crazy busy and he's working with 3 new clients. He's an amazing recruiter, and he has, call him once a day until you have a conversation with him. And believe it or not, he's not really good with LinkedIn, right? He's more of an email person.
Clear. My personal experience when I started my search, I did not put the green circle on. And I had been told if you're looking for executive level and above, don't put it on because it makes you look desperate.
Yeah.
Well, I got a little desperate after 2 months and I put it on.
Put that frame on there.
And I would say my response rate from recruiters doubled immediately when I did that. The phone started ringing. So
that's good feedback.
That's my 2 cents.
Thank you. Hey, Foster, you guys have any feedback at that table?
I want to jump into the conversation.
Yeah, I want to hear what you guys think.
Mike, I think is my mic working?
Photo frames, Foster.
I want to jump into this as well because you're approaching this from the eye of a recruiter. Here I am. I try to help people in this network.
Yeah.
I'm not a recruiter.
Yeah.
However, if I happen to be looking up Rusty, who's a member of one of our groups,
yeah.
And I happen to see the fact that he's got that green circle, and I haven't talked to Rusty in a while. It's like, I didn't know he was out of work.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the exposure that you get by having the open to work ring.
Yeah.
Is that people like me, who just happen to be looking up somebody else, and all of a sudden I'm looking up Rusty, and I see that, hey, I got Trevor. He's in my network, but I didn't know he was looking for work.
Yeah.
And now I can reach out to him and try to help him. So to me, it's no different than, drive out here in any direction, you're going to see hundreds of these political signs on people's lawns.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, that's what you're doing with that, is you're advertising the fact that, yes, I am open to work, and anybody in my network who doesn't happen to be a recruiter, but knows of a position, hello, call me.
It's fascinating how I referred him to John, because he had that photo frame.
Yeah.
Trevor, maybe you got Foster. You
Recruiter.
got photo frames.
Recruiter opinion. I like it.
Yeah.
Now, here's why. If I am a competing recruiter, if I'm a third-party recruiter, and I find, I'm going to pick on James over there. If I find James Miller, and I see that he's open a network, probably as I scroll through his platform, I'll find out that he's no longer working. It makes sense if you don't have a job and you're in the job market to put that on there. Now, as a recruiter, I know that I have competition, right?
Yeah.
So if I get to James and James is not working, I know that James is available to go to work right away. Especially, I'm going to call him and talk to him. But to a client, especially nowadays to companies, guys, when they have positions open, there's a priority. There is a desperation in some, not all the time. There's a desperation for those companies to get that position filled. Now, which of those candidates do you think are going to be more interesting, given everything line up? You think they're going to be apt to go for James, which James is ready to go to work tomorrow? Or are they going to go for William McLaughlin, who still has a job and has to put in a 2, sometimes even 3-week notice to their company that, okay, I got another job and I'm leaving, y'all don't like you no more. Yeah. So just think about that. And number 2 question that I've got is, I'm glad I'm sitting over here by Trevor and Mark, because, you know, we're big proponents of video.
Video, you guys are the video experts.
Absolutely. Trevor opened my mind up to that when we first started years ago doing this stuff. I love it. So you guys used to see me and still see me occasionally. I'll put a video. I'm like you. I'm not out there all the time on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But when I post, I like to post me saying, in case, you know, well, my company supports Business Technology Networking Group and some events that we have there. So you guys will see in the future me telling you guys what BTNG is and our events. Or I can put text out there. Now, given where we are now, Terry, and how the pandemic has changed our mindset and our quickness of getting through things, which of those 2 do you think probably would be the best for me to do? Tell people about it on video or put text in?
Yes.
I knew it.
Sorry, ask Mark and Trevor. I mean, what are your top tips for someone here that wants to create video? Yeah, how long? You know, do you include copy, Trevor and Mark? You know, what are your top tips here?
Yeah, so I help job seekers create video resumes all the time, and it's a great way to get yourself out there. One of the things that's super important about it is YouTube, right? Because what are these recruiters and these companies and the hiring managers doing? They're Googling your name.
Yeah.
Google owns YouTube. So guess what? If they type in your name, bloop, your video pops up.
Yeah.
Right? So I had a lady, literally, we made a video resume for a year and a half ago. It didn't help her land then.
Yeah.
But it was out there on the universe, on YouTube, and now she's back in the search, and it helped her land.
Wow.
A year and a half later. Like, how crazy is that?
That's cool. Very cool.
So, you know, search engine optimization, you know, the SEO, I think that's important. And also, you know, just getting the word out, letting people know what's going on. So I know the question had revolved around that banner, around your picture. That's letting the world know you're on the market.
Yeah.
And the other thing about that too, which is interesting, is that there's a lot of people who are currently working who are still using that. Because this whole great resignation, guys, people are trying to figure out where they want to be, right? They're leaving jobs that they're unfulfilled with, they're unhappy with, and they're trying to be happy, right? So they may be working, but they have that banner on that says, hey, I'm open. I'm employed, but I'm open to other opportunities. So I think it's important. The whole stigma about you being desperate, like, forget that. Throw that out the window.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about that.
Who cares? Yeah.
Just get the word out. Let as many people. I love what Pete was saying, because I guarantee you right now, if I put the open to work banner on my face on LinkedIn, I'm going to have people reaching out to me like crazy.
Yeah.
If I put that on there. And that speaks to his point about letting people know what's going on. So I say use it. I think it's real important.
Cool. Hey, how long should a video be?
Video, I keep a video under 60 seconds.
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other cool thing, here's the other, guys, I want to tell you something. We're talking about LinkedIn right now.
Yeah.
Guys, social media, the world, like, there's TikTok. You think I'm kidding about that? TikTok.
Yeah.
There's Instagram, there's Facebook. What you need is visibility. You need people to see that you're open to work.
Yeah.
And so you do a vertical video, right? Because that's how everybody's watching video now, right? They're not watching it horizontal.
Horizontal, yeah.
They're watching it vertical, okay? Because of TikTok got people doing this like zombies,
yeah.
right? We're just zombies,
yeah.
Okay? So you do a video that is less than 60 seconds, okay? Less than 60 seconds, and is vertical, and it can go to all the platforms. So literally you can go TikTok, you can go Facebook, Instagram, Reels, LinkedIn. It performs well on LinkedIn. It performs well on every social media platform. And right now, these like Reels on Instagram, if you put one out there, I promise you, you're gonna see some major, you may all of a sudden get 100,000 views on a video. You'd be like, oh my gosh. But that's what you need. You need visibility. You need people to know what you do, what you are the expert in, the problem you solve for a company, and what you're looking to go do. What companies are you interested in? Like, you need people to know about that stuff.
It shows you're up to date on technology.
That's, oh my gosh. You guys want to talk about overcoming ageism?
Yeah.
Anybody here feel like you're dealing with ageism? Let's be real quick.
Right.
Raise your hand. Come on. Okay. Get on video.
Yeah.
They don't think you're going to. They don't think you're going to do it. Why? Because most people aren't.
Yeah.
Get on video. It does overcome. It shows people that you are adaptable. You're up to date. You're up to what's going on in the world, you know? Culturally relevant. Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
It's really important, guys. And I will tell you, to your question, Foster, you said, which one is more effective, the text or the video?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in sales, and we post a lot of content.
Yeah.
The content that drives in the most leads, video.
No kidding. Huh.
Because people get to know, like, and trust you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Anybody can write a post. How do you really know it's me? You know how many copywriters there are out there? There's copywriters and all that kind of stuff, right? You don't know who's really behind that black and white text. You don't know who's really doing that. Could be a ghostwriter. But a video, you get to know, like, and trust somebody based off of their, their body language, their tone. Yep. Just like Foster right now, he's got the tone. He's trying to tell me to cut me off the mic.
Hey, Trevor, before you stop, how do they get in touch with you or Mark? Just if they have questions on video.
LinkedIn.
All right, just reach out to you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, just reach out to me on LinkedIn.
All right. There you go, Mark. Thank you.
Guys, on the Job Father, we have a job seeker spotlight, and it's taking advantage of exactly what Trevor just said. We get to see Todd as a company. I get to see how Todd presents himself, what he looks like, all that stuff. Oh my God.
All right, I'll turn it back over to you. Thank you.
So, guys, we are out of time. John, okay.
Thank y'all. Thanks, Foster.
Look at this guy. That's Terry Sullivan. Guys, take a shot, take a snapshot.
Oh, thank you.
Show it. This guy, God gave him to us.
Well, thank you, Foster.
Okay.
Thank you.
Brother.
All right, man. Thank you.
Foster.
Okay, guys, that is it.
Foster.
We are Frisco Connecting. John's going to tell us something.
I just want to remind everybody, especially those online, to share with their friends, because this whole presentation is going to be available to go over what Terry said and showed on YouTube. All you do is go to Stonebriar Events channel on YouTube, and this session will be there to review if you didn't get the notes or whatever, as well as Terry referred to several other places you can go, and you can, if you miss something, you can go rewind and go over it again. So I want to make sure everybody was aware of that.
Good. That's good. Go to Stonebriar Community Church, guys. You will see the events on there, and that is where all of our future presentations will be there. This one is paramount. This one is absolutely wonderful. So you guys utilize this. Make this one the LinkedIn Bible, if that exists. So that is our meeting for today. Unless there is another, somebody got something to share with us, I think that'll be it. John says, no, nobody got nothing to share with us. We're out of here. Thank you. Join us again first and third Tuesdays of every month, Frisco Connect. I'm Foster Williams. I'm the Job Father. I approve of this message.